Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Full Potential Show. I'm James Rick, and this is your #1 non-boring source for personal development. Today on the line, we have Liliane Grace. She is the author of The Mastery Club, and today we're going to talk about how to see the invisible, hear the silent, and there's another one, and do the impossible. So Liliane, so glad to have you on the show today, and a very interesting thing that we're going to do here today. Many things. So I'm glad to have you on the show to discuss this with us.
Thank you, James. I'm delighted to be here with you.
I just, I got to tell everybody. So Liliane just asked me before we started about how long are we going to do the interview today, and I deadpan said 3.5 hours, and I paused, and I could just see her going, "Oh my God!" But no, it's not going to be that quite so long. All right, so Liliane, tell me what inspired you to write this book and what's it all about?
All right, absolutely. So listen, as background, I've been writing stories since I was about 7 years old. Just loved inventing characters and situations and seeing if I could draw the reader into the world of my story, right? Mm-hmm. As a teenager, I started reading the books on my mother's bookshelf. She went through the Holocaust, and she had a lot of questions about why we're here, what's the purpose of life, etc. Mm-hmm. So I started reading her books that were all about maximizing your potential, which is why I love the name of your show and was delighted when you contacted me. And as I read books that had names like The Life and Teachings of the Masters of the Far East and, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, all those ideas were going into my mind. And then when I became a parent, I've got 3 kids. When I became a parent, I was reading the Harry Potter books with my son when he was 9 and watching the kids all dressing up in their cloaks and their wands and all that sort of thing and thinking, what if these kids knew they could do magic for real by really harnessing their minds? Mm-hmm. And so I decided I wanted to communicate. I'd always wanted to communicate these ideas that I valued about universal laws and consciousness and so forth to kids, and I knew it would have to happen in a form that they could relate to. They weren't going to read the kind of books I read, The Power of Your Mind and whatever. So I put these ideas into a story, which is The Mastery Club, right?
The Mastery Club,
Exactly, which is about 5 kids who form a club to support each other in achieving their goals and their dreams.
Cool. So now the this younger audience can really relate with that versus
absolutely.
We can't see them picking up like a dictionary-sized personal development book.
Yeah, you get some kids who read them. Like, me as a teenager, I was reading those books, but it's not many.
But we were nerds when we did that, Liliane. we did that, but we were the nerdy ones.
We were the nerdy ones, without a doubt. Right. So it's kind of a unique book because it's like a personal development manual in the form of a novel.
I love it. It's a great concept. And so what are some of the core ideas in the book? And again, what ages is it intended for?
Okay, I wrote it for sort of 9 to 15, but I've been blown away by the age range of readers and background, because it's been working for readers who are new to this and kids and people who are like masters of metaphysics who are reading it and coming back to me and saying, you know what, this really re-inspired me. So it's doing a big age range. So in the book, there are 10 lessons that are communicated, and the first one is this fundamental idea that we create our own reality. And it goes into that a little bit. The second and the third are practical tools. So we're communicating ideas around goal setting, and we're communicating ideas around visualization and vision boarding, which I'm in the book calling treasure mapping. So that's second, third, and fourth.
Oh, I like that, treasure mapping.
Treasure mapping, you like that? Well,
yeah.
I mean, kids are into treasure, right?
Yeah.
So the fifth
like vision boards, that sounds boring, but treasure mapping.
Treasure mapping, yeah. And the 5th to the 10th lessons are really all about character. It's around who you become. There's a fabulous quote I love from a man called Ralph Marston who says that achieving an ambitious goal is not about the goal itself, it's about who you become in the process of achieving that goal, And yes. I think that's what it's all about.
Well, I have a good feeling about this, and I think that, for many parents and for people that aren't new to this. Now, everybody who's watching this show, we know they are well broke in to the personal development field. But for many kids, young people, and especially people that have not been introduced to this is a fun way to do it, and to do it in an entertaining way. So if they have a hard time finishing like a nonfiction book, here's something that compels you to just complete the freaking story. If we've ever watched like a movie, right, where it's like, man, it's kind of, the movie sucks, but I have to finish it. I have to. So our human mind has to finish the story, and I think it's a great form to get these ideas out there.
Thank you.
Have your kids gone through this book and read it yet?
Absolutely, multiple times, especially my my daughters. My son's 19 and a half. He's moved out and independent, young man now.
Yeah.
But he certainly read it as a child, and I read it to them all too, because when I was writing it to kind of get their reactions. But also I've created an audio book, and my daughters often, will still listen to it. They're 16 as they're going to sleep.
And where can you get the audiobook, and where can the book be found? Is it on Amazon? Is it on the website?
The e-reader version of the book is on Amazon. The book and the audio set are on my website. I'm just in the process of looking at print on demand and things like that to have the book available in the States.
Okay.
In the hard copy format. Any great publishers out there, give me a call.
Well, we're in a new age now, Liliane. We don't need publishers anymore. We got e-readers. I got mine right here. So the book is called The Mastery Club. And it's available now on Amazon. You go on the e-reader and download the e-reader version. And then the audio program, tell us the website again.
It's your 3 W's, themasteryclub.com. Okay, the as in THE, masteryclub.com. It's also on the Apple iStore, so you can get it for the Apple or the Amazon sort of stuff.
Great. Okay, and this is great for kids, getting them introduced to this personal development idea and ingraining in a very fun way some of the principles that are going to change their life by planting the seeds early.
Yeah.
Liliane, any final thoughts for anybody watching or listening right now that you really want them to take home with them?
Gosh, zillions of thoughts. I went on an amazing journey.
We can't give them zillions unless you want to be here all day.
For 3 hours? Okay. Okay, so when I said as a teenager I read all this stuff, and what I became was an expert of information ideas. I had all this stuff in my head, but when it came to application, I would try 1 or 2 affirmations or something, and I look around the world and see, was it happening? And then I went like, it doesn't work, came to the conclusion it worked for those people in the books and not for me. It took a real kind of crisis in my own life before I really committed myself and applied a lot of the ideas. So to me, there are 3 important tools I always share with people, and that is, first of all, we are here to do what we love. That's literally why we're here. So follow your heart, do what you love, honor what you love. Second is educate yourself, do the reading, listen to watch shows like this, educate yourself. Third thing is apply what you're learning. Don't just have it as information in your head, but put it into action. So I got to the point where I told myself I had to just get in the process of applying this material and not wait for the result. Just let it take as long as it took and stay in the process and just keep doing it, and be patient. And eventually, I so transformed my life, and I really encourage other people to do that, take that risk.
Really, really important. 3 key ideas. Do what you love, educate yourself, and then apply what you learn. I mean, this is the formula, but Liliane, most people experience fear when they're about to make that change. It's the applying what you learn part that's so hard. What do you think made the difference for you?
What made the difference for me?
How did you get over the fear of doing what you know versus doing what you don't know, but feeling like you should be there? You should know it. You should do it.
One thing I'd like to say about that is that, first of all, I was in a kind of a desperate place in my life. I was 39, and I was looking at the big 40 birthday, and thinking this is not where I thought I would be when I was turning 40, because things in my life were not working at the time. So I was pretty well driven to create change. Then the other thing is that, how they say, oh yes, I was an overnight success that happened in 17 years, that principle. Well, the same thing applies here too, in that nothing happened overnight. It was just literally through patience and hanging in there. And I would take my dog walking at the park, and I would do these affirmations, right? And I'd be counting them off on my fingers. If you're walking behind me, you'd see this crazy woman with her fingers going like this, because I was literally, doing these affirmations. And I started
like another one of those in the park.
That's right, another one of those. And I was literally, convincing myself. So I was saying, my words and thoughts determine my destiny, because I believed that to be true, And then I'd say, I am in charge of my words and thoughts, which was a bit more uncomfortable because it's responsibility. But I also couldn't argue with it. And then the third one was, the faster I change my language to empowering phrases, the faster I transform my life. Okay. And then after that, I'd follow them up with the personal, things I wanted to achieve, like my book and whatever. So it was just bit by bit. It was no.
And I really love that idea. So, I mean, you've got the 3 ideas, which are to do what you love, educate yourself, and apply what you learn. But I think the leverage point is to really program yourself to apply what you learn, to affirm that you're going to apply what you learned. We're rhyming here. This is poetry. This is beautiful. Liliane Grace, the book is The Mastery Club. You can pick it up at themasteryclub.com or on Amazon. And we've got the final thoughts. Really do what you love, educate yourself, apply what you learn, and get that leverage on yourself by really programming yourself through affirmations. Liliane, thank you so much for being on today's show. And we did it, you know what? We did it 8 hours shy of the day. You know, we really did it short today.
Thanks, James. It's been a delight. You've really put your finger on the essence of what I want to say. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And everybody who's watching and listening right now, be sure and check out the book and like and subscribe to Full Potential Show so you can get more great insights from people like Liliane and freebies that you'll only find right here on the Full Potential Show. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you. You too.
All right. See ya. Well, that concludes this week's episode of the Full Potential Show, your #1 non-boring source for personal development. I'm James Rick, and if you want to get more positive programming for your brain absolutely free on a weekly basis, just visit fullpotential.com.
If you like the Full Potential Show, you're going to love the Full Potential Club. What would you like most as a Full Potential Club member? Be 2 to 3 times more productive? Do what you're passionate about? Have more energy? Reduce your work hours? Travel the world? Enjoy an amazing lifestyle on a frugal budget? What if you could do them all? James Rick has been there and done it in ways that few people have. For anyone serious about taking their life or business to the next level, you know you've got to do more than just watch. You've got to do. Join James Rick and other like-minded people for an incredible $10 a month at fullpotential.com/club. Be educated. Be empowered. Be the best version of you. fullpotential.com/club. Try it free for 30 days.